Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So a lot of you have been asking me how we have been taking this house from what was a summer rental house and turning it into a full-time home. So I thought today I would show you, this is probably part one of a two-part video of how we are fixing this house to make it a little bit more livable for a family that's going to live here full-time.
Right. So the good news is the kitchen is really pretty great the way it is. I would not change anything to this kitchen. I really love the way it's all organized. If you remember, we have open shelving, so that makes it super easy to put things away from the dishwasher, and also really easy just to get coffee and toast in the morning. We have our little refrigerator here, which keeps us going to the market every couple days, which is also really nice. The only thing that I am trying to get used to is this thing.
So you may remember in LA, I had a gas cooktop, which I really loved. I love cooking with gas. That is the way I have cooked for the last 30 years. But now I have induction, which is what a lot of people here have in France because it can be pretty complicated to pull from the city's gas if you're not connected to it. And I guess it's just safer to cook with induction, but man, it does take some getting used to. So I need all your tips. Anybody who is cooking with induction, can you please help me figure out how to master this? Because here's my problem.
You turn it on, right? And then you have these like sliding numbers that tell you kind of how hot it is. So I have realized that 14 is super hot, and that will get water boiling in just like a matter of minutes. It's so quick. And then the other thing is the low temperature, which I kind of like that.
3 is just like a very gentle simmer, which you can keep chocolate sauce at 3 just warm without it really like bubbling and boiling. And that I actually like. I really love the low setting on the induction, and I really love the high setting. I think it's everything in between that I'm having a hard time with. Like, I still cannot make an omelet. I don't know what heat. It's either too low or too hot. And I find when you pull it off to try to like lessen the heat, it turns it off. So that is really getting to me. But I know it's probably just a matter of learning how to use it. So I am going to be patient with it.
And then the living room, this has actually been okay. I think this actually works fine. One thing we want to do is change these windows, just soften them a little bit. It's great for the summer because these doors are mostly open, but we kept thinking for the winter, it might be a little bit cold. We might need something on these windows to kind of soften it a little bit.
So I'm looking for like a very soft, creamy linen, or maybe like a chenille of some kind. I don't know. Something that's monochromatic that goes with this scheme. So nothing too colorful or patterned, but something that has texture and feels soft. And we have not really found much yet. So we're still looking. I kind of don't want to have them custom made because I think that will be super expensive. So we're just getting to know a lot of the stores and seeing what we can find.
I also need something like a little magazine catcher, like a little basket or something here, because this is what's happening. I'm buying all of these fun magazines, which, you know, I love because they help me with my French. And I also just love to see the different recipes and I get inspired by that. But like, I can't just stay there on that chair. They need like a little basket. So I'll be looking for that. Oh, another thing that we need. So here, do you know what this is? This was actually what they call a poubelle à table, but now it's keeping all of our keys.
You would put one of those on your table for all of the kitchen scraps. It's not really used so much now. I have not actually seen this at a dinner party, but I think it's something that was used in another time where you would put like little chicken bones or little scraps of anything that you were eating. They wouldn't stay on your plate. It would actually go in something like that. But I need something like that for a compost catcher.
Because I was thinking like right here, like something here that was kind of decorative and not that ugly. Because as I'm prepping food, there's always things I could be throwing in there, like little melon rinds or tomato scraps.
Because we now have a compost. I'm so excited. Let me show you. This is something I tried to have in LA for years, and it never really worked for various reasons. But I think the biggest reason was we just had a lot of raccoons, and they just kept getting into it. And it was kind of too far away from the garden. We had it way in the back part of our yard. And then everybody got lazy and people didn't want to go out there at night to go throw away the scraps. So it never really worked. But this one I think is very promising. Look at this.
In France, they're very eco-minded, which I absolutely love. And you can get these great composters from the city. So we've started to throw things in it, as you can see. And then in the wintertime, once it gets all like composted down, we can put it on the garden.
And this is also really important for managing the trash. So One of the things that's really interesting about the trash here in France is the barrels are a lot smaller than what we have in the US. Now, anybody who's from LA, you know how big those big trash barrels are. You fill them up, they come once a week, and you never even think about it. But here in France, it's a different story.
These are our little trash barrels. They're so small. See, I mean, I guess with the scale, you can see how small they are. See, like, they're just very skinny and very small. And you can see this one is full because
They don't come every week. They come every other week. So in the high season, in the summer, they've been coming weekly, but not always. I have a little calendar and sometimes it makes no sense why they come one week and why they don't come the other week. So we really have to get ahead of this trash thing.
So it's the same thing with all of this organic matter, all of the green bins, because if I can lessen the amount of trash because it is going in this composter, then this thing isn't going to be full.
Which I think has just made me so much more conscious of what I buy. All right, now this is the perfect position to see my quince tree. Look at this.
Aren't they amazing? I really don't know what to do with them other than quince jam, which I love on cheese. So maybe I will do that. We have some friends that love to make alcohol out of this and they want to come by and pick some. So I thought that would be another good use for them. I heard you're not supposed to eat them raw, so I don't really know what to do, but it's definitely a tree laden with fruit.
All right, then the other thing that we're working on is something for the dining room because these chairs are great in the summertime, but in the wintertime, I'm just thinking they might be a little chilly.
See, they don't have any cushions. So I was thinking there might be like a little cushion that we could kind of tie on to the chairs, right?
I saw some in IKEA, so I was going to order one and see if they fit these chairs because the chairs are kind of wide. And if so, they were a real deal. So I think I have 16 chairs. Because anytime the whole family, the whole Lemonac family gets together, we are 16. So I want to make sure I have enough for everybody if we end up hosting Christmas one year.
We finally got stools for this island, which we ordered them during the pandemic. They never arrived. And for 2 years, we tried to track them down to no avail. So we just ended up buying these, which I think are great because they have a nice like woven seat to them and very low backs, which is great because it does not block the view from the kitchen island. And they just sort of tuck under, which I think is great. Now, there is storage in this thing that I think is underutilized. So first off, this is where we keep the TV. But see this mess down here? This is like all of these toys and games that when we rented the house, the kids would like to play with. But now my kids are a little old for that. So I'm thinking this whole section has to be cleared out because this is where all of our photo albums and books and things need to go that we shipped from LA. Then this is a really interesting secret storage area that we discovered after somebody, gave us this cabinet that's on the side here. And I think I'm gonna have to maybe try to put my cookbooks in here because I have all these cookbooks that are coming and I don't know where to put them. See, they don't really fit this way. That's not gonna work. These are some really cute books that were made for us by a friend who put all of these pictures from our Bon Voyage party in these books, which was super sweet. But I think it could all go that way. And when we've asked certain people about this cabinet and what it was used for, people keep telling us that they think it was a rifle cabinet where you would have kept guns. I don't know. So that makes me think that maybe this was a cabinet for a large front hallway or something. I don't know. Anybody know what this might have been used for? Let me know. It seems weird that it has shelves though for guns. I don't think that they would have all fit like that. Maybe it was for something else. And then this table, it's a very large table. And when we were renting it, we just, put a big dish here with some oyster shells just to keep it simple. But now I think I'd like to just put some books and, we have a bigger, like beautiful pottery bowl that's coming from LA and maybe just a few more things to make it a little homier. We also put in a little fan, which is great because we had a few hot days here.
There is no air conditioning in this house. Not that you really need it, but the fans really help. Now I can show you the room that needs the most help. This poor room. If you remember, this was that beautiful bedroom and I really loved it. It was a guest room and we just needed a room for an office. And this whole thing started because when we broke the news to my youngest daughter that she was going to be moving to France, we said, you know what, you can have your pick of bedrooms. You can have whatever bedroom in the house you want. That was a small concession. I think it's really important for her to feel like this is her home as well. And at that age, you know, she's 13, your bedroom is everything. It's your own little world. So my daughter actually picked the room that was her original room, but we needed to make some adjustments. So this is what it looked like before. It was super cute. It had 2 twin beds, pink theme. We thought it would be also fun to have twin beds when we rented it in case there were kids that were coming. She and her older sister shared this room. But twin beds in France are not like twin beds in the US. They are super narrow and small, and both my daughters are 5'9", and so they just literally were not fitting in these beds anymore. So this is what she chose. I let her choose what she wanted.
She chose everything in here. It is now a blue and white coastal theme. This is what she wanted, and I love it. I think it's super cute. So she took the large bed that is in what is now going to be our office. She picked a blue and white theme. This is really cute. We found these online. I'll link to it below if you guys are interested. This little guy, he came from the States. This is the one thing she brought. This little guy. Just super cute. And then we got her a little dresser here for clothes. She kept her full-length mirror. These little mirrors are going to go up above here. We're still looking for some art there. And then she needed like a dressing table and desk. So she went with these, which I thought was cute, with a little chair and a little blanket for her blue and white theme. We just need to get her a little rug. So I don't know, something in here. But I think it's cute and everything just fits.
We had to pick a room for an office. So my husband and I are going to be sharing an office, which should just be interesting in itself. And we're also sharing this tiny closet in here. There's going to be a lot of togetherness.
So let me show you what a mess it is now and what we need to do with it. Okay, see, this is like a total mess in here. We've got a printer on a box. We've got important papers in a suitcase. And then we have these silly little desks that used to be in our room as like little dressing tables, as like makeshift desks. So this is not going to work. And also look at the carpet. The carpet is too small for this room. And then we're sort of stuck with these bedroom lights and these side tables, which also don't really work in this room. And this window also, I think, needs some softening of the drapes. So I think we're going to keep these for summer because these are just, you know, plain IKEA, almost like sailcloth, you know, which is great.
But it gets cold here in the winter, and I think something a little bit more cozy might work better. So again, some creamy kind of linen, something like that. So here's my vision.
I'm thinking a long antique farmhouse table that comes to here. Something kind of like pine or maybe oak or something that has a little bit of soul.
Because one of the things I'm really conscious about this house is that it's a new construction. So it could very quickly look very cold if everything in it is new. I love the combination of the new construction, the concrete floors, the contemporary fans with antique old pieces. I just think that softens things. So that I think is going to be the signature piece in this room. So it's hard to kind of design around it until we find that piece.
Then we also need something for this situation. This is our makeshift table for our printer. So we need a printer. It's this big printer. I don't know. My husband really wanted a laser printer. So this is what we got. But it can't stay here because I don't think that's very functional. So we were thinking here to put like a little table. Right, George? Yeah, George is consulting. Aren't you, George? A table with cabinets that we can put a lot of this papers and everything in. Then for the chairs, weirdly enough, these are kind of comfortable, these little IKEA chairs. But once we get the farm table in, they just may not be right. So we're going to see. And then I don't know if these little tables are really going to work. They just look like bedside tables to me. They were good when there was a bed in here. And they do match this painting. But I think this painting, I don't know. This painting may have to go someplace else because I bought it online and it has like the weirdest texture to it. I didn't realize it was so textured, but I do like the frame.
It is pretty, but I have that Paris painting that's coming, and that's a lot more sentimental to us than this painting that I just found online. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this painting yet. I might be able to sell it. Or maybe we'll put it in the living room because there is one other thing to look at in the living room. I will show you that in a second.
The carpet. This is also a problem. This carpet is too small for this room. It actually came from our bedroom. It's sort of a long story, but this carpet just ended up in here. And now I need something that's probably gonna cover the whole floor.
Once we get the table in place, I think it'll become clear what type of carpet would work best. But let me show you the real challenge in this room, our closet. This has been the really interesting part about moving into this house full time is the storage. There's not a lot of storage.
This closet was actually perfect if you were coming for a week or two. It had a lot of storage, but imagine now, husband and wife, we are gonna share this closet together. We each have a section for shoes and then for some folded items. My husband has already like moved right in. He put all his stuff in there and he also has a little dresser in our bedroom, but I have my stuff all over the house. So I really need to get organized here. But you know, we're probably each gonna get about 15 hangers and that's gonna be it.
So I'm really gonna need to use all of my capsule collection skills because you can really only store one season at a time in this closet. So I think that's what we'll do. Like now we're just having summer. In a couple of weeks, we'll start to bring in the fall things and we'll put the summer things in these like suction-y, vacuum suction bags that we can then store in the garage. So that I think is going to be the biggest challenge.
So this is sort of the dilemma with this painting. I really love it. I think it's great in this room, but I've always sort of felt like it's too small for this chest. So maybe that other painting in the other room might look better there, but then I need to find a place for this gorgeous painting because this is actually a better painting than the other one. So I don't want to get rid of it altogether. I don't know, I was sort of thinking there is room for a little painting here. So another idea might be to move this little painting, which I love, which I don't know, there's sort of a joke going on in this house that it's too small for that wall, which it could be. Put the sailing painting here and then put that over there and then take this painting that's in here and put that over the chest. So we're gonna have to see about that.
So I don't know, these are all these little things to figure out, but once we get it all situated, I'll give you an after and you can see what we ended up doing. All right, you guys, so that's where we're at with the house right now. I am taking next weekend off for my husband's birthday. We're going to go to Ile de Ré for a few days, which should be fun. But then I'll be back the following week, and I have a really yummy dessert recipe for you. And I wanted to share a sweet treat that we can't get enough of here. Anyway, until then, I'll see you. Bye.